Howdy once again, it's Tubal Cain, and this is episode number 22 of my This and That series, and I have quite a few things to cover here today, and I hope I don't repeat some of them, but I finally got a nice package from YouTube, Google, and a nice letter and a presentation of my award for, and that's the silver button. See my picture reflection? For 100,000 subscribers. Thank you, subscribers, for making this happen. And I'm hesitant to show this because that shows pride, and pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. And next here, I received a nice package from Bill Lee out of the great state of Washington. And you might remember that several episodes of This and That in the past, Bill had sent me quite a his entire library, in fact, of Stirling engine books and manuals, and just a wonderful gift to me. And I got another package from him today, and one is by it's called Model Locomotive Valve Gears, and MAP Publications. This is out of England. If you've never seen any of their books, and that stands for Model and Applied Publication Limited. They have wonderful technical books. So, and this is an older book. It's from originally 1962, but now this is the 73 edition. So that's about all the different valve gears on locomotives. And then, well, that's a catalog. Or actually, this is, I believe, from September 2016, the book that they give you at the International Machine Tool Show in Chicago. One on model locomotive making. I believe this is also from England. Believe heck it is from England. And finally a book here that came from a library called The Next Great Thing, and that's about the Stirling engine and how it's going to change the world. Finally, he knows that I have that 6-inch Rockwell Delta tool grinder, and he sent me a couple more wheels, and these are kind of hard to come by and extremely expensive. They are used, but they look very serviceable, and I thank you, Bill Lee, so much for thinking about me and spending the money that it took to get this here to my house. So thanks, Bill. In an upcoming video, I need to remove some rust off these old wrenches. Well, this is junk, but I just wanted to use these to demonstrate what I'm going to call the Olympics of rust removal. Maybe that's what I'll title the video. And I promised I wouldn't make any more rust videos, but I have the urge to, so I had to break that promise. And I have a couple other things here. But I'm going to compare electrolysis with molasses, and I have never used molasses up to this point. Vinegar, I may get some different kinds of vinegar, Evaporust, and finally this one, which I have not used yet, which is called Industrial Rust Eliminator, and they donated that to me. So I'd like to compare these 5 or more different rust removal methods, so watch for that in an upcoming video. And I'm speaking here now in early November 2016 AD. Next comes a box, a FedEx box, directly from McMaster-Carr from a man by the name of Kevin, and he wishes to remain semi-anonymous, so I can't give you his last name, but he does work for a musical studio, and I won't even tell you what city. But out of the clear blue sky, well, he had emailed me that he's going to send this. This is foamed aluminum, and it comes in different thicknesses. It's a rather expensive product. That's 1/2 inch thick, that's 1 inch thick. There's the packing list from McMaster-Carr. And this is also 1/2 inch thick, and that's 1 inch or 1 foot square. Now, this comes in 4x8 sheets also, and I am told by Kevin that that is sometimes used in recording studios. And here are some of this floats. I threw this into the tub of water, and it floats like a bar of ivory. It must be 199 and 44 100% pure. And it took 3 days for it to dry because so much water gets into it, just like a sponge. It is an aluminum sponge, in effect. although it's rigid as can be. But here are some of its qualities. It's strong, lightweight, sound absorption and diffusion, impact absorption and diffusion, noise insulation, RF shielding, moldable, machinable, projectile shredding, fragmentation capture, so I guess you can shoot bullets into it, heat sinks and exchangers, weight reducing components in aircraft, matrix for chemical beds and scrubbers, filters, catalyst, rod. You can read through these, but that's most interesting. And I got to make sure I don't show Kevin's name down there. So thank you, Kevin, and this may appear sometime in another video. This would be ideal, I think, for a Stirling engine to dissipate the heat. But neat product. I had never heard of it, never seen it. When I was at Arnfest a few weeks ago, a man by the name of Palmer, his first name is Palmer, he said, "I bet you're the only Palmer you ever met." And I'm there, yeah, I never met a Palmer. Maybe a Mr. Palmer, but not Palmer as the first name. Anyway, these are for oil, cutting oil on the lathe, and you've seen various versions of these, and he makes them out of beverage cans, the tall beverage cans, and he flattens out the bottom because there's a magnet in there, and people have said, well, why don't you put a magnet in there? And he did. But to me, a magnet, and Palmer, no offense now, it is very useful, but it also can be very annoying because it attracts chips. Now remember, these are spill proof, and there is oil in this one. I've already been using this one. However, it doesn't tend to fall over much because of the magnet. So you can set it right on the lathe bed. This is a steel table. Make sure it's in the picture. So thank you, Palmer. That's pretty neat. On my trip to Bushnell, Illinois, remember Craig Heath? Well, quite a guy. Be sure and watch those videos on the powerhouse down there. But anyway, Craig gave me some catalogs, more than this even, but these are old Sears tool catalogs. This one from 1957, power tools. Notice that in 1960, it's strictly hand tools. Boy, that sure looks like a Starrett micrometer with the Craftsman name, doesn't it? That's strictly hand tools. This 63 one is strictly power tools. But what I thought was extremely interesting in the 57 one here is that I don't know how many pages of lathes that they had featured, metal lathes. There's the 6-inch, like I own pretty much. There's the, what is that? The 12-inch. Here's a real little 6-inch. But on the next page is the granddaddy that interested me because I had never seen these in the Sears catalog, but there they have the Craftsman 7-inch shaper, which of course is an Atlas. How much was that? $525. I mean, that was an absolute fortune in 1957. And the seldom seen Craftsman milling machine, which also is an Atlas, and that was $475. I've never seen these machines in any other catalog, so I'm sure they just didn't sell, and they pulled them from the catalog. Maybe they ran them a couple years, but it's interesting to see these two items and then all of the accessories at the bottom. So thanks, Craig, for those. And sooner or later, I'd like to get these in the hands of Keith Ruckert so that he could scan them in his wonderful site called Vintage Machinery. And if you're looking for older manuals and instructions and so on from metalworking and woodworking machines, go to his site, Vintage Machinery. Perhaps you remember this item from a recent What Is It video, but given to me by Uma Junk Collector, and thank you for this next item too. In the same package, which was this, was this shocking tape ruler. So it's a gag gift. When you pull it out, you get a little shock. So I get a kick out of that. So if you're your thumb has to be on this fake lock, which is no more a lock than the Man on the Moon. It's the grounding point, and as you pull that out and jerk this out, you get a little shock. Now, it's not enough. It's just enough to where it tingles enough to where it scares you. But, you know, it's not going to cause your heart to stop. So I thought that was neat. So thank you. I believe it was Don. Thank you for that. Gave me a laugh. And finally, I was recently in the Grizzly store in Springfield, Missouri. Took a few still pictures there. And I bought something, which I bought a tailstock for my little index head, dividing head. This is a picture taken on the wall. As you know, Grizzly owns all rights, and they have a separate website for South Bend lathes. So if you're a big South Bend lathe fan, take a look at their website. And on the floor there, they have many of their machines. By the way, Grizzly closed that Pennsylvania store, in case you did not know, and they increased the warehouse size here in Springfield, and that warehouse, I tell you, it is monumentally large. So there's some archival photos there as well. And right next to that, there's a waiting room where my wife can sit with a TV and comfy chairs and all of that. So there's a wives' room. Now, this is one of the archival photos that are taken probably in the 30s or 20s at Lane Technical High School in Chicago. All the boys there running the lathes, and there's the instructor. But the reason I took this is right there is a large teaching aid, and I think I told you at one time I manufactured in my basement here, right behind me, over 10,000 teaching aids. Even larger than this, but mine never did include this C, which really served no purpose, so it was just this portion right here. But and I had never seen the one here at Lane Tech, and that was a major technical school in Chicago. And I know this is cockeyed here, but there's that How to Run a Lathe book for $14.95. I couldn't get it to twist. I love that logo. And there's the South Bend Whey oil. I bought some of that once. Still have it, and they also got the cutting oil, but you know, that's a lot of money to pay for cutting oil. There I am picking up my catalog. This is where you come into the store if you've never been there. And by the way, this bear is older than me. It's pretty dilapidated and faded when you examine it closely. It was a little bit of a disappointment to me, and there I am next to a South Bend lathe. There's the woman's room back there. I don't mean the ladies' room, I mean the waiting room. A man can go in there as well, if you had a notion. And here's one of their other lathes, a little closer. I guess you can't see the price there, but you can look in their catalog if you're interested in the South Bend lathes that are new lathes, not old ones. That's it. Thanks for watching.